YouTube, what's happening is Wednesday, July 31st. As you can see, we have 14 games in baseball to talk about today. Drop a like and subscribe because first, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the red on the screen because this is the second consecutive -5 unit day. And we don't run from that around here. We're not going to hide behind our losses. We're not, no, we face them. We talk about them. If anything, I played basketball in high school growing up, so we're going to take the basketball approach. We're going to take the shooter's approach. In basketball, they keep shooting and shooting and they keep missing. What do they say? Keep shooting threes? No. Go in there and hit a layup. Go hit a free throw. Take an easier shot. Stop taking these corner threes to guard and contested. Take the smarter play. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to be a little more tight-fisted with our plays and be a little more conservative with things. So one thing I'm going to do is, if you look at there's 11 losses from yesterday. Yeah, let's highlight that 11. 6 of those involve the money line. So what we're going to do is we're going to limit the money lines. I know some people ban money lines outright, and hey, I understand it. I might need to, but not yet. We're going to limit. When I play a money line, I always take the straight bet and also put it in a parlay. Well, right now, I'm going to remove the straight bet and just put them in the parlay itself. That way, I only have 1 unit allocated to all of the money lines for the day. That regardless of what happens, I'm either right or wrong one time. So that way we limit our plays there. And then also we're going to be a little more selective when it comes to what we play. Like sometimes you'll see me say, yeah, let's go with it. And yeah, we're not going to do that right now. We're going to try to limit the flow of loss when it comes to the profits and try to get those back up. So we got 14 plays. Drop a like, subscribe, and let's go ahead and jump to that first one right now. All right, first game, we got Miami and Tampa. You can see Tampa is a heavy favorite in this one with a total of 7.5 going on. Look at the numbers, 58% Murphy based on what they've done this year. 4 runs a game while batting .269 for Miami in their last 3. That's 21st and 11th in the majors. Tampa is 5 runs a game for .239 for 13th and 21st. What stands out? Tampa gets the runs, but Miami's getting the average. That's odd. And then strikeouts, they're 8.7 and 8, middle of the road there. So let's look a little closer at the pitchers. Taj Mahal Bradley, as I like to call him, because dude is a beast. He is a structure. He's a monster. Look at these numbers. I mean, dude should be getting more consideration. I don't know why they didn't trade him. They could have got a haul for him yesterday because everybody was selling everything in Tampa apparently, but I'm glad they didn't. So, hey, I'll take it because Tampa's my hometown team. So, hey, I'm going to root for them. So, I mean, unbiasedly when it comes to betting, though, I should say. Yes. So you can see dude's been great. And he's going up against Munoz, who got roughed up there and a little bit there and a little bit there. See, I mean, obviously, Taj is the better pitcher of the two. Let's look over at the props, see if anything stands out. So let's go with Taj first. His matchup history, bang, nothing. So Miami versus righties. They do better against righties than lefties, though. So we got .269. We can see the numbers, how they do. Nothing is truly standing out. Yeah, nothing's truly standing out. Everything's about average. You can look at K rates over here. You can see how they do. Nothing stands out. Earned runs is 1.5. I mean, I know he's been good, but I'm not taking the under of 1.5 ever. I don't care who's pitching, and I don't care who's the team is. So never. Strikeouts, he's up and down. I mean, Miami's striking out, so I'm gonna pass on that. Hits, no. Walks, he does walk some, but I'm not taking a walk prop right now. And like I said, we're being conservative. We're being smarter today. So pitching outs, basically, if he doesn't get rocked, he should go 6 innings. But you can see here, it was 5-0 final. He still got pulled. So they have a short leash for him. That concerns me. He only get, at most, CL score 3. He got pulled. You can see, yeah, I don't, no, I need more consistency. So nothing looks good. Even though I like Bradley, and I think he should easily do well today, I don't like any of the props. Munoz, on the other hand, let's look. Bang, history, 1 at bat. Nothing. Rays versus righties. They're about 50-50 split. Nothing really stands out. There's some hundreds on here, but there's nothing impressive. Neither side has a 300 hitter going on. That's crazy. Let's look at this. Strikeouts. Under 5.5 against Tampa could be a play. We see that Tampa is 10th in strikeouts right now. We're only 8 in the last 3 games. So Munoz would have to get, 2024. He started off 7, but he hasn't hit it since, and he hasn't come close a couple times. So that might be a move. Hits, over hits might, they test Tampa's offense. Walks and outs. No, I am liking this under K because he has hit this in 8 straight games. He needs to get 6 strikeouts when he's had 7 twice, and that was against Colorado and the Cubs. And this one, the Cubs are batting like 100 average, so this was terrible. So you can see, I'm going to go with this play. I like this one. I'm going to take Munoz. Now, if you now watch Munoz come out and just Randy Johnson this and get 10 Ks. But hey, that's baseball. What can you do? So I'm going under 5.5 Ks for this one. So come back to the side. I don't like a side in this one because they're both crossing over on this. Pitchers, yeah, obviously, I would assume I would take Taj is better. But I mean, do I put Tampa in the money line parlay? We're not taking them on the just straight now. So total wise, that's what I meant. Total, I can't take a total. I can't pick an over under. I think I am going to take Tampa on the money line though, just because it's just the parlay though. Just that at the end we'll come back and on the parlay I'll move it around occasionally throughout the video. So we'll add Tampa to the money line parlay potentials and then move on to the next game. All right, next up we got Toronto and Baltimore, another 225 favorite. Interesting. 9 is your total. Looking at this, we have 54% Nerfy based on what we have. 5 runs a game versus 7 runs a game. That's 13th for Toronto, 5th for Baltimore. 279 versus 333. They're both top 8, but second for Baltimore. And Toronto striking out a little bit more than usual at 9.7. They had 10 strikeouts last game. Looking at the pitchers, Toronto sitting out Paulo Espino. Who? Yeah, him, exactly. He hasn't pitched since April 12th. And he was apparently with Washington before that. So you can see he had a couple innings tops. He's pitched 4.2 for the whole season. Got rocked in those 4 against Colorado of all teams. So yeah, Grayson's going to have the advantage in the pitching. Grayson's better. So yeah, he got rocked a couple times. Hasn't faced Toronto recently, but you can see he has the advantage. This is a bullpen game for Toronto. This is why Baltimore is 225. It makes sense. So yeah, Baltimore is most likely going to be a moneyline parlay candidate for sure. Let's look over at that props. We got Espino. There's no props on him, but I can look at some history and we can see that Gunnar is over 1. I mean, it's 1-0. Gunnar did something. Mullins is 2 for 4. Outside of that, not much. And then Baltimore hits righties pretty well. So that's yeah, that's not good for Toronto. So Baltimore hits righties that well. And then we go to the other side. Boop, boop. We come over here. Their history against Grayson is all green, which is kind of concerning because Vladdy's 364 with a homer and he doesn't strike out much. So that makes me not want to take any strikeout props because none of these guys are striking out much in history against them. They're all green, 4 for 10, home run for Springer. So yeah. And Toronto is about 50-50 split when it comes to the batting against righties. So let's look at his props because we can do props for Grayson. Earned runs 2.5. I don't really want to do that one. That's not standing out. Strikeouts stood out a little bit, and this is why. It's 4.5. It is heavily. It's 160 is heavily juiced. 2 was against San Diego. We know San Diego doesn't strike out, and then Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't strike out. But before that was Toronto. So, I mean, take what you want. And of these numbers, Houston was 8, Seattle was 8, Oakland was 8, and Texas was 8. So, do I think he gets 5? I don't know. That's why I'm concerned because of the whole matchup against him and seeing these green numbers. That concerns me, especially with these low 0 strikeouts. 1 strikeout. You can see, 1 strikeout, not at bats. I'm not... I lean it, but if this was yesterday, I would take it. But today, like I said, we're being more conservative. So what we're going to do is lay off it. So what I'm going to do is we're obviously not taking a Nerfy, not with this new pitcher, not with Paulo here. I'm not. What's the total? 9. 2 good offenses, 1 bat bullpen, and Grayson who could get blown up. I thought about taking Baltimore in the thing, but I think I'm going to take Baltimore out of the parlay, and I think I'm just going to I think I like over 9, to be honest. Both 2 top 10 offenses, and Grayson has shown he can get blown up, and he gives up runs anyways, and Toronto can score. Yeah, I think I'm going to go over 9. I like that. Over 9, nothing else. Next game. All right, next up we got the Yankees and the Phillies, and it's Phillies slightly favored at home. 9.5 is your total. 36% Nerfy based on what's happened this year. 9.7 versus 4.3. Yankees have a massive advantage in runs. That's second versus 20th. 297 versus 196. Yankees have a 101 point advantage in the batting average. That's 5th versus 29th. So clear advantage Yankees in the bats. And let's look over at the pitching. We got Sanchez going out there for Philly. He's been pretty good. Has not faced the Yankees recently, but dude's been outside of his 777 here. He's been pretty good. Can't complain. So And then Nasty Nest is going out there. You can see what he's done. He has not faced Philly recently. He's been a little rough stretch. 7-5, 8-6, 9-4. He's struggled a good bit. So yeah, so you got to give the advantage to Philly in pitching. You got to give the advantage to the Yankees when it comes to the bats. So right there, that cancels out the money line. I can't take it. And on the on the side or the total, I mean the total, I can't really. What is it? 9.5. I can't do it because I can't trust Philly to help get to an over because they're batting 196. Like what? And you're facing somebody who could be good or not. So let's look at props, see if anything stands out because this so far is looking like a pass, but we'll check. Sanchez. No, we're on Nestor. Bang, bang, bang. A lot of green. That's the first thing I see. Hayes has 1 home run and 22 at bats with a 31% strikeout rate. That's fun. Nothing else is really standing out. Philly versus lefties. They're better against lefties. You got a lot of 300s. That's 5, 6, 7 of them hit 300 versus lefties. That ain't good for Nasty Nestor now. He might have some issues. And yeah, so let's look at his props real quick. His hits are high too, but Philly's batting 198, so we don't trust none of this. I ain't trusting it. So walks, outs. Yeah, no good. Yeah, see, he gets pulled early too, early-ish. All right, so let's look at Sanchez. A little bit better, probably, I'm guessing. Yep, not much info. Torres has 1 home run and 1 at bat. Soto has a 75% strikeout rate. 3 out of his 4 at bats has been strikeouts. That's interesting. Judge has never faced him. Yankees versus lefties, they're better against righties. You can see the numbers, except for Soto's better, the same against both sides. Let's look at props for Sanchez. Earned runs, hits at 4.5. Strikeouts is 4.5. Hits are at 5.5. Ooh. Yeah, see, he's starting to give up more hits, which means he's going to start giving up more runs here. And I don't like that. And he's pretty consistent. I mean, he went complete. Yeah, so... yeah, so for me, I'm going to... I've shown everything. I don't like anything. To me, I'm going to pass on this and just move on to the next game. All right, next up, we got Minnesota and New York. You can see it's pretty much a pick 'em with that 8.5 for the total. 60% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. 2.3 and 6.3 are your runs in the last 3 games. That's 28 for Minnesota and 7th for New York. 223 average versus 296. That's 25th and 6th. New York having the advantage, obviously. So New York has the advantage of the bats, but they are both trending down. That's what I'm noticing here. Let's look over at the pitchers. We got Severino going out there. He has not faced Minnesota recently, but he has a history of getting blown up occasionally. So he either pitches great or not. So up and down with him. Pablo, other hand's a little more consistent. I would say that, but he had a blow up there and a blow up here. Has not faced the Mets, but then he also had pretty good games. To me, they're about the same pitcher. So there's nothing really standing out when it comes to the pitching. The bats, there's an advantage for the Mets, but they're 70 points, 68, 7 points better on the batting average and 4 runs better. So yeah, there's a pretty decent advantage for New York there. Let's look over at some props and see what we can find, because so far, I'm not liking anything. So let's start with Pablo. His matchup, bang, bang, bang. There we go. Oh, we got some stuff. He's got some at-bats. We got 22 at-bats with a home run, 22 at-bats with a home run, 24 with a home run, home run. Strikeouts, not much. Some good averages there. So McNeil, kind of 455 average. McNeil might go on the... If you're batting over 400 with a good many at-bats, you're going in my list of bats that stood out. So McNeil for the Mets. We're going to add him to the list. And Mets versus righties, they're better against lefties. Everyone knows this, so nothing really new there. Walks is the first thing that stands out. That's weird. No. Strikeouts, no, too close. Hits is up and down. Earned runs is up and down. So he'll either great or not, obviously. And outs, you can see he might only go 5 innings. He might go 7. Who knows? So yeah, Pablo's a no. And let's look over at Severino. His matchup a little closer. We don't have much information, not much at all. So nothing standing out. I need more than 10 at bats really to really get some good info. So. And Minnesota versus righties, they're better against lefties. So only one that's good is Miranda. Look at the numbers. His pitching outs is 17.5. Is he going to go 6 innings? He rarely goes past 6 innings, but sometimes they let him go out there for 1. So I'm not liking that. Not against the not against this offense. I don't just strikeouts. I'm not liking that. Hits. The Twins are struggling hard. I just no. And walks. Yeah, I am not liking any of that. So I don't like any of the props. I don't see advantage in pitching. There is an advantage in the bats, but I don't trust it enough to really take New York on the money line, especially when it's a pick 'em, maybe even underdog money for the Mets. Total's 8.5. Do I like a total? The Minnesota's bats are terrible. I can't help them get the over. Yeah, to me, I don't like any of this. I'm just going to pass on this one and move on to the next game. All right, next up, we got Atlanta and Milwaukee. We can see it's Atlanta slightly favored, 7 injured total. Looking at the 65% NRFI based on what they've done this year as a team. 5.7 versus 5 on the runs. That's 9th and 13th. 9th for Atlanta. 250 with 268. That's 16th and 12th. 12th is Milwaukee. So they're both pretty much the same. There's no real advantage in the bats. Looking at the pitching, we got Peralta going out there. Pretty good pitcher. Can't lie. Pretty good numbers. Can't complain about any of this. Hasn't faced Atlanta recently. Last blow up was off screen. It was down here 10-6 against Cincinnati in June 14th. So it's been a while for him to have a game like a bad game. And Chris Sale's going out there, and we know Sale's pretty good. I mean, yeah, you see it. So, and then strikeouts for both of them. Atlanta is striking out a ton at 10.3 for 27th, and Milwaukee at 19th at 9.3. Because I know we're going to look at strikeout props with definitely with Sales. So let's dig a little deeper into it, shall we? We'll start with Peralta first, since he popped out first. His history versus Atlanta. He's got some at bats. Ozuna is only batting 215 at bats. That stands out a little bit. No one really stands out in like a, ooh, I want to take that in anything. So in Braves versus righties, they're about 50-50 both ways. Nothing truly stands out for them. Look at some Peralta props. Earned runs with the Braves, no. 1.5? 1.5? Strikeouts, no, he's up and down. Hits, you can see he's up and down still. Walks, he does walk a ton, but he has 0 there, and I'm like, ugh. And pitching outs, he gets pulled early. He gets pulled early often, so yeah, no, we're not doing that. So let's look at Sale. Look at Sale's matchup first. Bang, bang, bang. Not much at bats. 4.68 against these three. Strikeout rate, that's funny. Not good, but Adams does have a home run. That's interesting. So Milwaukee versus lefties, about 50-ish split, but no one's truly standing out. Maybe Contreras at 340, but outside of that, no one else is standing out. Let's look at his. Earned runs is also at 1.5, so both at 1.5. They're expecting a low-scoring game, it looks like, when the total is, oh, it is 7. I guess that does make sense. Strikeouts. Now, that was San Diego. That makes total sense because they don't strike out. Tampa Bay, Oakland. It's 7.5. That is ridiculous. That's crazy. You have such a small window to work with because the whole season, you can see that he's hit it 58% of the time, 11 out of 19 games. That's just not good enough. I need more. I need better. And then he hasn't faced him this year. I mean, there's going to be people all over this day saying, I'm taking Sale. I'm not. I can't. I don't know. I'm being conservative. Even if I wasn't, I still wouldn't take it because it's just, there's not much wiggle room. He's hit 9 a bunch of times, and it's like, yeah, no. His hits, let's go back to that. His hits are low. His walks, and his pitching outs. He gets pulled early too. Even if they're doing well, he gets pulled. So he hits a pitch count, he's out. So that ain't good. Okay, so we have no advantage when it comes to the bats. We have, I would say, a slight advantage in Sale. Clearly, a slight advantage, maybe a moderate advantage. Peralta's not bad. Let's be honest, he ain't bad. So no advantage really. Not we're taking aside. I'm not taking a 7 under. Can't do it. I don't trust these bats to get it over. I don't like any of the props. So, and I don't like the NRFI because. Why don't I like the NRFI? Good question. Peralta has been shown to give up 3 or 4 runs a game, and the bats are top 15. That's why I'm not. I need my NRFIs to be both teams bottom 10 when it comes to averages and runs. These aren't there, so NRFI's out too. So I'm going to pass on this one as well and move on to the next game. All right, next up we got KC in Chicago. KC, 200 favorite, per usual against the White Sox. 9 usual total. Look at this, 62.6% NRFI based on what they've done this year. 5 runs versus 3.7. That's 13th to 23rd. Advantage KC. 238 and 248. Advantage Chicago. So there's no real advantage from the bats if you look at this. Neither team is striking out much either. So second and eighth. Chicago's doing a good job of not striking out. So against the pitchers, and they faced some decent pitchers. Those 2 wins for KC, they have earned those 2 wins because Chicago's lost 16 straight, but they're going to break that soon, and everyone's going to point and laugh at who they beat. So let's look at this. No advantage in the bats. Let's look at the pitchers. Thorpe is going out there. Dude got shelled in that first inning against Seattle, but before that, great numbers. Then Singer pitched against the White Sox literally 10 to 11 days ago. 5 hits in 7 innings with 7 strikeouts. So there you go. Outside of the couple sevens, he doesn't strike out much. That's foreshadowing. That's what we call that. So we pop over here to the props. We do Thorpe first, do the matchup so we can see what he's got going on. He has a bunch of red, not many at bats. It's only been 1 game. So, and KC versus righties is about 50-50, but only one over 300 is Bobby Witt, and that's just Bobby Witt doing Bobby Witt things. So yeah, look at the props. For the whole season, he's only given up more than twice, and that was against Arizona and the last game. So you see what he does with the strikeouts, his hits, his walks, and his outs. I don't like any of that, and I'm going to pass on all of that stuff. Now, Singer, on the other hand, we look at his backup, his information, history. We got a lot of data. Vaughn's a 281 with a home run. That could be interesting to somebody. Lee's got a home run. 2 home runs for Sheets, but only a $130 average. That ain't getting the job done, buddy. You can see some of this information, how it works. Yeah, Chicago versus righties, Chicago versus lefties. It doesn't matter who they're going against. The averages aren't going to be good. So that's why you lost 16 in a row. So you can see, let's look at some. I saw this. He struck out 7 last time he faced him 10 days ago. Outside of that, for the whole season, he's only hitting 62% of the under he's hitting it. But for over, only 38 on 5.5 strikeouts. He's only struck out over this 3 times in the last so many games. I think I like this under a 5.5 because Chicago's doing well. They're not striking out much. And yeah, I like that. And hey, maybe what happens, he gets shelled. Guess what? He gets pulled. It could happen. So because there is no advantage in the bats. So I think I'm going to take Singer under 5.5 strikeouts. We'll look a little closer at some other props, hits, earned runs, maybe. But if he gets shelled, he's getting pulled. So the under strikeouts will definitely hit. And walks and outs. And I don't. No. See, something like this happens, pulled. See, I don't like that. So yeah. So I don't like any of those. There's no advantage in the bats. There's an event. Yeah, Singer has the advantage of pitching, obviously, but I'm not going to take a money line with him because Chicago's going to win a game eventually. They're at home. It's the 3rd game of the series. Trying to avoid another sweep. So yeah, I'm going to pass on all that. I'm just going to take the Singer under 5.5 strikeouts and move on to the next game. All right, next up, we got Texas and St. Louis. It's pretty much a pick 'em. 9 is your total. We see here 45% Murphy based on what they've done. 3.3 versus 5 runs a game in the last 3. That's advantage St. Louis. That's 13th and 27th. 248 for 17 for Texas. 245 for 19 for St. Louis. So no advantage in the averages. And strikeouts, a lot of single digits. Neither team striking out much. Looking at the pitchers, we got Andrew Heaney going out there for Texas. We can see his history. Hasn't faced St. Louis recently, but dude gives up some runs. He's not bad. Nothing. This is his worst game recently, was 4 runs. I mean, dude's pretty decent. You get what they get out of him. And then St. Louis is sending out Michael McGreevy. Welcome to the majors, Mr. McGreevy, because one, is that not just a badass name? McGreevy? That sounds cool. So, but outside of that, he has no information. So when we're around here, we fade those dudes. So, and we see the odds where Texas is actually, I mean, you can get plus under -110 for both. That's hilarious. So basically, I pick them. So let's look a little closer at some props. All I can look at really is going to be Heaney because other guys knew he doesn't have any. But I can look at, oh, I can't look at it all. Okay, so I can look at Heaney, history, bang. 444, 9 at bats for Crawford, but nothing. 1 OPS, nothing stands out. St. Louis versus lefties, up and down. Some like them, some don't. Let's look at the props, see if anything stands out. Hits is 5.5, strikeouts is 4.5, earned runs is 2.5, walks, outs. Pitching out is pretty consistent. He's going to go 5 innings, but I mean, good luck getting a 14.5 pitching out number. Good luck with that. So his props aren't look good. So basically, we're back to here. So basically, the question is, there's no advantage in the averages. St. Louis is better with the runs, which means you got to give the batting And the trend lines are up for St. Louis. So you got to go St. Louis on that. Pitching, you got to go Haney most likely because he's a pretty decent pitcher. He's not bad at all. And we don't know who the hell this guy is. So we don't know what he's done. Yeah, as you can see. So usually I would fade people like this in their first game. But usually I would have some advantages here. And I don't like the downtrend of Texas. I don't like the uptrend of St. Louis. So for me, I'm going to do the smart thing. I'm going to be conservative and hold that cash. And I'm going to pass on this and move to the next game. All right, next up we got Washington, Arizona. You can see Arizona is a pretty decent favorite at home, especially after yesterday's blowout. 8.5 is your total. Looking at the numbers, 54% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. You got a #1 offense. Ain't no shot Nerfy's being taken in this game. You can see Arizona has they have nothing but single digits, and the highest number is a 3. They're getting 10.3 runs a game in their last 3. They had 17 runs yesterday. That's first. They bat 357 in their last 3. They batted 489 yesterday, and their striking out is #1 at 4.7. So good luck playing Arizona right now. Washington, they're 3.7 for 23rd. They didn't score any runs. It was 17-0. 272 for 10th for Washington, and they struck out 12 times yesterday. So, yeah, Arizona's trend is literally off the screen because it's gone, and Washington is starting to dig a hole. So we have two teams going completely different directions on offense. So, yeah, it's a little bit of an advantage for Arizona. Let's look at the pitching. When I saw these pictures, my first initial thought was over. That's the first thing I thought. That's just my initial gut instinct was this. So Gallen's going out there, Gallen, whatever. You can see the numbers, see how he does. He gives us some runs, but then he pitched decent here. So he's going up against Washington. Hasn't faced Washington recently. So you can see that information. Mackenzie Gore's going out there, and this is why I said over. I saw Gore and said, ooh, over. Because dude has not been good recently. So he gives up some runs too. We have an 8.5 with pitchers that give up some runs, it looks like, and we have a monster offense in Arizona, and 10th for average, not bad for Washington. They should be able to scrape together a couple runs, hopefully. And look at props, see if anything stands out here, because I'm already leaning the over. And I'm leaning Arizona, obviously. So Gore, bang, I want Gore, boop, boop, boop. There we go. He has 7 at bats, 571 and a home run and 7 at bats. Gurriel 667, 6. You can see Grichuk stands out to me. I'm putting him on the list. Grichuk. I have no clue how you say that or not, but that's what I'm gonna call him. He stands out because, yeah, that's only what 4 out of 7, but still, you got a home run, 6 RBIs. Come on, that's good. So, and Arizona versus lefties, they love hitting lefties, so that makes me love the over even more. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 dudes over 300, high 200s. Thomas doesn't like lefties. Carroll doesn't like lefties, but that's okay. Everyone else does. He ain't all got like the same thing. So you can see outs, pitching outs is under his might be the play because 15.5, he might not make it that long. There we go with that. Hits, runs, and walks. Yeah, I don't trust the props. I mean, I see Arizona's offense is hot, but I don't trust it because I'm taking one play, and I'm liking the over more so far. Let's look a little closer. Now we want Gallen. Bang, bang, bang. His history, not much of a history. No one's done anything against him. Washington versus righties. They kind of look like 50-50 split. Nothing truly standing out. Yeah, there's a 364, but he doesn't play. So, yeah, nothing there. Earn runs. He's either zeros or he gives up runs. That's what I like to see for an over. Either he can be great or not. So, yep. Come down. No, not liking that. That or that. Okay, that settles it. All right. Now, someone's going to ask, why don't you do team total? Well, why not? Let's take a look. Let's see if anything stands out. Because when you're scoring like that, yeah, you might... 4.5 is your team total. If your offense is that on fire, if you can't get 5 runs in the whole game, you might have problems. But also, I like the fact that it's 8.5 because 8.5 is a beautiful number because 4-4 is my favorite score in baseball because if you're 4-4, someone's got to score, which means you win. So that gives me the possibility of that happening. And also, if Gallen gets blown up, I have a better chance hitting that over. So I'm going to take the over 8.5. I am not going... Am I taking Arizona money line? That's a question I want to know. I think I'm going to lay. Yeah, I think I'm going to. I'm going to take Arizona money line in the parlay only, along with the over of 8.5, and move on to the next game. All right, next up we got Seattle and Boston. Seattle is a slight favorite. 9.5 is a total. Looking at this, 42% Nerfy based on what they've done. Both trend lines are up because both offenses are on fire. 7.7 versus 7.3. That's third and fourth for Seattle and Boston in the last 3 games. 252 for Seattle on average for 14th. Meanwhile, Boston's 301 for third. So yeah, I guess you can give Boston a slight advantage, but both offenses are hot. So if the pitchers give up runs, we're probably taking another over. Let's look at this. Bellows going out there. Bello, he likes to give up 5 and 3, 5 and 3, 7 and 3, 9 and 5. That's what 5 and 7. The over's looking in play. And then Kirby's going out here. You can see what he's done. A gem against the White Sox. It was the White Sox, let's be honest. You can see numbers are good. Hasn't faced Boston recently. He has not faced Seattle recently. So we got one decent pitcher, one average to good pitcher, and one probably maybe even below average pitcher in Bello. So I can't take a side, that's for sure. The offenses are too close. The pitchers don't have much of an advantage. So the side is out. Total 8.5 might be the move for real. Is it 8.5 or 9.5? 9.5. Ooh, that makes a difference. That's a big one. Let's look a little closer. See if anything stands out first. I want boom, boom, boom. History. Oh, Devers has a home run, 10 at bats with a 500 average. Yep, you stand out. Welcome to my list. I know you hit one final yesterday, but hey, you're going on my list for today too. Don't care. Anything else stands out? No. Boston versus righties. They're about split in the middle. Nothing truly stands out except Devers hitting 339. Look at some props. Earned runs is, what is this, under 2.5? Yeah, he's been good. He's been good, which makes me not want to take the the over now, especially as 9.5. Ooh, I don't know about that. Strikeouts. How are they striking out? I forgot to go with that. They're both 9.3 for 19th. So 5.5 is a good number. Oh, that's hard. This one's hard to pick. Just everything's hard. You can see it's pitching out to 17.5, but you're going against a top 3 offense right now. If you have a bad game, you're not going to make it this far. I said this for another Seattle pitcher, and that's exactly what happened 2 days ago. So, yeah. So, all right. Let's look at Bellows' history versus see if anything stands out. Oh, we got a home run here. We got a home run there for Garver. Nothing's truly standing out for anyone on the list. Randy's the only one that actually been over 10 at bats with 273. So nothing there. Walks is the first thing I start with. Okay. Strikeouts is a no. Hits are no. Earned runs, 2.5 for Bello. That might be a play, but against Seattle's offense, which is 14th and 3rd, that might be the play right here. Now, does he go enough outs to actually get it? He does get pulled quickly in some of these instances. If this was yesterday, I would be all over Bello right now, but I think since I'm being a little more conservative, if this was yesterday, I would be taking Bello over 2.5 earned runs and the over of 9.5 just because the offenses. But today we're being conservative, and outside of that, I'm not fully convinced on these, so I'm going to pass on both of them and just move on to the next game. All right, next up we got the Cubs and the Reds, and we have the Reds as a moderate favorite at home, 9.5 your total. Looking at the numbers, 56% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. Both offenses, 3.7 for 23rd for the Cubs, 4.7 for 18th for Cincinnati, both bottom half. Batting average, 216 for the Cubs, that's 26. 267 for the Reds at 13th. That takes out the Nerfy. We got a 13th average. I need them both in the 20s before we even talk about Nerfy around here. 8 strikeouts versus 8.7. No. So there's no real, I guess Cincy has a slight advantage in the bats, but that's it. Let's look at the pitchers. Lodolo's going out there. You can see what he's done. Has faced the Cubs down here to back-to-back games in June 2nd and 7th. 6 innings both. Pretty good games here. Since then, has been pretty good. He's not getting blown up. 4 runs is the worst you have. Hey, I'll take that anytime. Hendricks is going out there. Got blown up against KC pretty hard. You can see outside of that, you can see the games. He faced Cincy as well back-to-back, and he did not pitch many innings. So he had 45 pitches and 17 pitches, but he was pitching great. So, yeah, take that what you will. So, yeah, so I I mean, I would give Lodolo the advantage, so you have an advantage just slightly for pitching and hitting, but they're both slight at best. Let's look at the props just a little closer. See if anything stands out. Let's go Lodolo first. History, bang. Swanson has a home run, but a terrible average. Terrible. Nothing stands out there. Chicago versus lefties. Chicago loves them some lefties, if you can't tell. Look at all this green. That is a football field of green right there. Run the ball right there. Man, I wish football season would get here. So close. You can taste it. Anyways, you can see earned runs, strikeouts, hits. Yeah, nothing. Nothing. Let's pop over here. Hendricks. Bang, bang, bang. A bunch of zeros. Nothing here. Candelario's terrible against him. History. Against righties. They're not there. They're better against lefties. We got some hundreds on here. Low 200s. Ooh, that ain't good for Cincinnati. That stat wipes out your little bit of advantage you had in the bats. Walks, strikeouts. They even took out outs because they don't know how many outs he's actually going to pitch, which makes, if you don't know how long he's going to pitch, how are you going to know to take an over-under? Like, come on. Common sense here is speaking. They say, no, leave this the hell alone. That's what I'm going to do. I don't trust anything in this game. I'm going to leave it the hell alone and move on to the next game. All right, Pittsburgh in Houston. And Houston's a pretty heavy favorite. 210 is your best number. 8 is your total. 50% nerfy based on what they've done this year. 5.7 for 9th for Pittsburgh in runs per game in the last 3. Houston 2.3 for 28th. Yeah, they're a big favorite, but they can't score runs. How does that work? And you can see yesterday, last game, Pittsburgh won 6-2. So take it, yeah. Averages 24th and 23rd, 226 and 232. Pittsburgh is scoring a good bit of runs, so that makes me a little leery about that nerfy. The averages need to be low. I don't really care about the runs when it comes to the nerfy. I care about the averages more because you got to be able to hit the ball to get, to score. So, and 13th for strikeouts for Pittsburgh is in something that's saying something too. So let's look a little closer at the pitchers. We got Valdez going out there. Mr. Framber, you can see he has not faced Pittsburgh. He's been pretty spot on. Dude's been pretty good. Can't complain about none of his numbers. And he's been striking people out like crazy. And he's facing Pittsburgh. So let's go ahead. I normally don't do it this order, but I just want to go and take a look. I want to peek over some Valdez strikeout props real quick. Ooh, 7.5. Ooh. 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 Okay, yeah, no. Back to what we're doing. I think 7.5? Ain't no chance. Hell no, can't do that. Pass on that all day. And Woodford's going out there for him, for Pittsburgh. And he hasn't pitched since the 6th of June. So, hey, have fun with that. His 4 innings, he got lit up against Boston before they got lit up against Toronto in May. So, welcome back, buddy. Have fun. Let's look at props a little closer, though, for real. Valdez, let's dig into a little deeper. Dig, bang. Nothing is, not enough information. No home runs. Pittsburgh versus lefties. They're better against lefties, it looks like, so you can see the numbers. Some of them aren't, though. Terrible numbers, but they got some good ones. Like Bart's 393. That's good. And then you got 191 and 170. Ooh. So like I said, 7.5 strikeouts is crazy. I mean, yeah, he struck out 10 and Pittsburgh swinging and missing a lot, but 10, that's a lot. How has he done all season with this? He's hit this number only 4 times all year. And you expect, I mean, yeah, but I mean, he's done about 2 out of 3 games too. So this is why I can't take it. So, all right, go back to the last 10 hits. He's up and down, earned runs, walks, outs. They pull him too. I hate when managers pull. Yeah, so if anything, I lean the under, but he's done it in 2 out of 3 games. He is dealing recently, so I don't want to go against that. So I'm going to pass on those. Woodford shouldn't have anything. He has a strikeout prop. That's all he has. But we can look and see how Houston does against Woodford history. And we have not much history, not much has happened. And Houston versus righties, they're better against lefties. So, but they're not terrible. So, and strikeouts is 2.5. Yeah. So for me, there's no real advantage in the offense. Slight advantage for run scoring for Pitt. Houston has a big advantage when it comes to pitching. Obviously, Houston's a 200 favorite? Yeah, 210. I don't know why they're that much. Pittsburgh could easily win this game. This is a weird one. I'm just going to pass, move on to the next game. All right, Dodgers and Padres. What a game yesterday. Padres with the comeback. Amazing. Too bad I was asleep. I didn't see it. So, hey, I saw the highlights this morning, though. Great. So, anyways, we have San Diego as a slight favorite. 7 is a total. Looking at the bats, 51% Nerfy based on what they've done. And both offenses are doing good at scoring runs. That's a lot of San Diego logos on that screen. 5.7 versus 7. That's 9th and 5th. Advantage San Diego. 212 for LA is not good on the average. That's 27 in the last 3. Meanwhile, San Diego was batting 300, which is 4th. And the Dodgers are last in the majors in strikeouts at 13.3. They are swinging and missing at everything. So, in San Diego, uncharacteristically, 11 strikeouts in their last game. That's odd for them. They don't do that. So, look at the pitchers. Mr. No-hitter himself going out there. You can see what he did. Nothing against Washington. You can see that, and then one hit. Dude has had probably the best 3-game stretch you've ever seen, and dude has been balling. It was Atlanta, Cleveland, Washington, not bad teams. So, yeah, before that got rocked there, but does it matter? Dude's balling, and he's going against Clayton Kershaw. Welcome back, buddy. Your first. Oh, you've already been back. That's right. That's your second game. I forgot you already came back once and pitched 4 innings. Completely forgot about that. So it's been a week. What can I say? You can see what he did. 6 hits, 2 earned. Pretty normal stuff for him. But 4 innings. He might, obviously they're going to ease him into it slowly. 4 innings, probably maybe 5 today, maybe 6 the next time. Slowly, slow and steady. They're preparing for the playoffs. Let's look at the props a little closer. Let's start with Kershaw. See what we have. History, at least. We have some. Machado's got 2 home runs and 34 bats with a 294. Is that worthy enough for mine? No, but Solano might be. 550 and 20 at bats. Yeah. Solano. Does he even play? Yeah, I'm kidding. Obviously he plays, but see, I'm gonna take him for San Diego because that's standing out to me. Machado could stand out too because he does have 2 home runs, but nothing else is really standing out. Against lefties, San Diego likes righties better, so that doesn't really stand out for me. And Solano's a 3-14 versus righties. Strikeouts. Oh, he struck out 6 against San Fran. That's interesting. Yeah, let's just do 2024. Let's just look. Hits is 4.5. He gave 6. Earned runs is 1.5. He gave 2. And walks. I need a couple more games to see how he's going to do. But yeah, he looked good in his 1 game. Mr. No Hitter himself. We'll start with his matchup. Refresh. Google froze. There it goes. Bang, bang, bang. History. Hernandez has a home run. Outside of that, a lot of red, a lot of nothing. Even Ohtani's got a 273. Freeman has a 330, but only 6 at bats, so nothing's truly. Ohtani has 2 home runs and 11 at bats, but not good of an average. So Ohtani could go on the list. No. He needs to be a higher average. Some people are going to like that for home runs, but I think I'll pass. Righties, averages, they're better against lefties. You can see nothing's truly standing out besides the 2 main hitters being green. And let's look at some props. Pitching outs is only 17.5. Are you sure? He went 27 last time, guys. Come on. So can he go 6 innings? Well, he got rocked here. If I think he pitches another gem, that I think he's going to hit 6 innings quite easily, right? So yeah. And it's heavily juiced. Ooh, that is heavy. Let's come back, see what I have anything else. Strikeouts, 11, 10, 9, 8 now. Hits. Yeah. Earned runs, walks. See, this is what worries me. He gives up hits all the time, but in 3 games, he's been a beast. So is he going to continue this beast? This is a trend now. You hit 3, it's a trend. So, I'm enticed. I'm intrigued. Actuated, if you will. So, looking at this, San Diego has all the things you need in the bats. The pitching, I mean, good luck with that. Kershaw's back. I don't know what to do in this one. I think I'm going to take it. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take Cease over 17.5 pitching outs on this one and move on to the next game. No side, none of that. All right, next we got Colorado and LA. We have LA as a slight favorite. 8.5 is your total. 60% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. To Colorado, 3.7 versus 6.3 for LA on runs. That's 23rd and 7th. 204 for 28 for Colorado. 277 for 9th for LA. Colorado is also on a 5-game losing streak, worth noting. And Colorado is striking out a ton like usual. We can look at their pitchers. Davis Daniels going out there for LA. He's only pitched 3 games, but he got rocked in that game and a little bit rocked in that game, but a great game against Detroit. So what are we going to get in game 4 with them? We don't know. Freeland's going out there for Rado. He got rocked. So we got 2 teams where the pitchers get rocked recently. Before that, he pitched 3 good games, but Sanford got him good in the last game. So let's look. I would say LA has the advantage in the bats. Pitching, I mean, is there an advantage? Do we really have to say an advantage? I don't know. I guess Freeland because he's pitched more. I don't know. At 8.5 pitches total. Let's look at the props, see if anything stands out. This game's looking ugly. Hits allowed 5.5 against Angels offense, which is 9th and 7th right now. 5.5 could be a play. Strikeouts against the Angels, they're not striking out much. I wouldn't do that. No, and no. Up and down. So that's a pass on all that. Oh, pop over here. Oh, wait, didn't even look at his background. Oops, how dare I? Let me back it up. There we go. History. Good thing to Pilar has 2 home runs and 14 at bats. See, I almost missed that guy. Pilar for the Angels. How can I miss that? That's a beautiful stat. Or Drury has 1 in 11. Your choice. That's options. I'll stick with Pilar because he has more. And Angels versus lefties. They're actually better against lefties, so that's good. Got some higher 3s. 5. Yeah, 5 of them above 300. That's pretty good. And we already looked at that. So now we'll look at Daniel. His stuff, his history, nothing. And Colorado versus righties. They're split down the middle. Up and down. Nothing really stands out there. Looking at this. He doesn't have much, so I can't really do props, but I'll show him off. 1.5 earned runs is this number. Strikeouts is 5.5. Hits are 4.5, and walks and outs. Yeah, no, I'm not doing any of that right now. So, all right. So far, I think I'm taking the Angels money line because I think I like the bats. The pitching advantage is not really there, but at least. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna take the Angels because I'm going to go against the streak because Colorado is losing 5 in a row. It's hard to break a losing streak in baseball. Once you start losing more. Ask the White Sox; they know all about it. So I'm gonna take the Angels into the money line parlay. I'm not gonna take a Nervy. I'm not taking a total. I'm not taking a prop for anybody. Nothing looked good anywhere. So for me, just Angels money line. Next game. All right, last game. We got Oakland and San Fran. San Fran's a 200 favorite, as well as like a bunch of other teams today. It's a very heavy money line day, which you know what that means. Upsets galore. So 7.5 is the total. 55% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. 4.7 for 18th for Oakland. 4 runs per 21st for San Fran, no real advantage. 240 versus 290 as 20th and 7th with advantage going to San Fran. And they're both striking out 9.7, which is 22nd. So there's no advantage in the bats. In the pitching world, we have Stripling going out there. We can see his numbers. He has not faced San Fran, but he gets blown up a good bit. He gives up runs. You can see all the earned runs he's done, the hits he's done. And then Webb hasn't been much better. 9-4, 8-4. You can see 8-7. You can see he's slightly better, but not by much. So I don't think there's an advantage in pitching or hitting, which means I can't take a money line. I lean the over because the total is 7.5, and both these pitchers are just not doing well. And the bats are both. Oakland's trending up a little bit. San Fran's down, but combined they're 8.7 runs, which even though that's only the bottom of the mid group, I think I still lean that. And look at the props a little closer. Webb, with his information, he's only faced Brown 5 times, 1 for 5 against righties. Oakland's about 50-50 split. Nothing truly stands out there. Looking at everything here, I'm gonna pass on all that. But look at some props real quick. He gives up hits. That's what he does. He likes to give up hits. I like the over of total more than I like over of hits for him. From strikeouts, he is straight falling. He's not striking out much anymore. Earned runs, he's up and down. Walks, he is up recently. But yeah, I'm not liking walk props anymore. So, and then he's downtrending a little bit when it comes to his pitching outs. Stripling, on the other hand, you can see his history. Everyone's green against him, which is good for an over. It helps. Now, given it was 1, 3, 5, and 2 at bats. Like, come on, not much. Yastrzemski has a home run and 5 at bats, but batting 400. Take that with what you will. They are not that great at hitting righties, though. But I say that, but the numbers are still, I mean, these aren't bad numbers. I mean, still, it's just not, they're better against lefties. So Let's look at some props. Earned runs 2.5. I don't. Strikeouts, no. Hits. I mean, it looks good, but walks is going to be a pass and outs. So I'm liking this over of 7.5 because of these two pitchers have the history of giving runs and the added function of we get to play with Oakland's bullpen because, hey, they come in, we know what they can do. They're good at giving up runs. So I'm going to take the over of 7.5 in this one. I'm not going to take a side. And we're just going to call it a day right there. Okay, that is all 14 games broken down. I think I accomplished what I wanted to, which was to be a little more conservative with my plays and what I was going to take, because I only ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays. Wow, I might have been a little too conservative, but hey, it's a weird day overall. It's been a weird series. So I got 6 plays. I have a 3-game money line parlay, which is Tampa, Arizona, and the Angels. I have 3 props. 2 strikeouts and an out, and 1, 2, 3 totals. Hey, that's a nice day. So we're going for the layup. Like I said, we're trying to get a layup, get the field, the green back, get the vibes back. Because 2 days of losing 5 units in a row I don't like that. It doesn't feel good. I need to get that plus 47 back at the plus 80 again. So slow and steady, right? So that's what we're gonna do around here. Also, bats that stood out. I took, I'll say it here. There's 5 dudes that stood out just from their history versus who they're facing. McNeil from the Mets, Grichuk from Arizona, Devers from Boston, Solano from San Diego, and Pilar from the Angels. Those 5 stood out with, look them up if you weren't watching. Look them up, see how they've done. They good averages, maybe some home runs. Hey, why not? So outside of that, I appreciate you sticking around, watching. Drop a like, share, subscribe. Check out Outlier. If you want a recap of everything, you got to become a member, or you can just join the Discord. The links are in the description. The links are in the top comment too. So drop in the comments what plays you're going to take, because I only took 6. So I might want to tail a few more off camera. So let me know who I can tail, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.